Okay, guys, so I'm gonna talk about one of the hardest things I feel like as a Christian and going through this markets, and I'm gonna be transparent, we love it, so let's get into it. So, y'all, I feel like the hardest thing about being a Christian is denying your flesh, okay? Now let me get into it. Now you may have temptation, you may have sin. Don't get me wrong, sin is hard, but let me tell you, denying your flesh, baby. I've been about run back to my past about 6,000 times, but because I want to do better for myself, I want to do better for God, and I want to do better for what He has for me to be able to achieve what He wants for me, you have to deny your flesh. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, let me give y'all an example because I have to give examples for people to understand. But this is a really good example. So my minister doesn't know this, so if she's seeing this, hi, my mentor. But there was a time where I was doing hair, and we usually have a weekly Friday call, and I was doing hair, and I didn't want to hop on the call because I was so overwhelmed. Like, y'all, when I tell you I was overwhelmed, I was overwhelmed. Like, everything was just happening. I just needed a mental break. But let me tell you, she told my friend, she said, girl, you need to get on the call. Well, basically, I'm assuming she's like, girl, you need to get on the call. And I was just like, do I have to get on? Like, ugh. So she told me I didn't have to speak. I can just listen while doing hair. But I really just mind the fact. When she told me that, I was like that's how I was. Like, I was just like my flesh was like, oh my gosh, like my flesh was low key. It wasn't cussing her out because I don't do that, but my flesh was like, God, like, do I have to get on this call? Like, but I'm knowing in my head was like, if God told her to put me on this call, I must have to get on this call. I was 5 seconds from just saying no, but I'm not disrespectful. I'm respectful. So I basically had to just ended up going on the call. And let me tell you, when I tell you, when we do stuff for God and our flesh is in the way, for some reason, it's something about God when He puts the little, it just makes everything better. It just makes it, okay, let me go ahead and do it because God is telling me to do it. And one thing about God, when He tells you to do it, it ends up being better than what you realize. I ended up getting a whole message out of that where I ended up learning, getting educated because I denied my flesh and did what God told me to do. So let me tell you something. You need to humble yourself before the Lord because the Lord is giving you something that you need, but your flesh getting in the way because you don't want to do it. Am I speaking to you? I'm trying to tell you. We read First Samuel today, and it gave me a lot. First Samuel chapter 15. Go ahead and read it, baby. I'm trying to tell you. Praise Him. Praise Him.